At exactly 5:47 a.m. Eastern Time, the world wakes up to a sentence that instantly rewrites modern geopolitics. No warnings. No build-up. Just 8 words that travel faster than any missile ever could. The president of Venezuela has been captured. In New York, newsroom lights snap on. In Caracas, phones vibrate in dark apartments. In Washington, secure lines light up across government buildings. Within minutes, the name appears everywhere, bold and unavoidable. What sounds impossible seconds earlier now feels disturbingly real, because the silence from Venezuela is louder than any denial. There is no presidential address, no live broadcast, no familiar image of Maduro speaking to the nation. The man who has survived sanctions, protests, coups, and isolation for more than a decade is suddenly nowhere to be seen. As the first hour passes, fragments of the operation emerge. Short clips circulate showing armed escorts moving with urgency. A secured runway under artificial lights. A figure walking stiffly, surrounded, controlled. The videos are brief, deliberately incomplete, but they are enough. Analysts recognize the posture, the spacing, the choreography. This is not chaos. This is extraction. By the time the second hour begins, confirmation flows through unofficial channels into official ones. U.S. leadership acknowledges the operation. The words are measured, but unmistakable. Maduro is in custody. The capture is complete. The objective is achieved. The operation itself unfolds with surgical precision in the early hours of January 3, 2026, inside. U.S. aircraft enter Venezuelan airspace under the cover of electronic warfare. Radar systems are blinded. Communications stall. A rapid insertion team moves toward a secured location tied directly to Maduro's movements. There is no prolonged firefight, no broadcast invasion, no visible occupation. The mission is not to conquer territory. It is to remove a single individual. Within minutes, the target is secured. Within moments, the exit phase begins. The window is small, calculated down to the second, and it closes cleanly. This is the kind of mission designed for forces that operate beyond publicity and beyond error. Trained for high-value target capture, leads the ground phase. Every movement follows months of intelligence preparation, routines mapped, contingencies rehearsed, exits layered. Maduro is restrained, transferred, and extracted without delay. By the time Venezuelan command structures attempt to respond, the operation is already over. The aircraft is airborne. Venezuelan airspace is cleared. The president of the country is gone. As dawn breaks over Caracas, confusion spreads faster than any official message. Venezuelan state television continues broadcasting pre-recorded material. Government spokespeople issue statements condemning foreign aggression, but none present Maduro in real time. The absence confirms everything. A government that once relied on constant visibility now has nothing to show. International observers take note. Markets react. Oil prices jump. Diplomatic channels flood with urgent communication. This is not a rumor anymore. This is an event. Hours later, attention shifts north. In the United States, secure transport arrives. Maduro is processed under federal custody. The charges that have existed on paper for years now become active reality. Narco-terrorism, drug trafficking, conspiracy. For the first time, a leader long considered untouchable is subject to the same legal system he once denounced. When images emerge of Maduro inside a federal courthouse in New York, the moment crystallizes. History is no longer theoretical. It is visible. Global reaction follows instantly. Allies express support, framing the operation as long-delayed accountability. Critics condemn it as a violation of sovereignty. Legal scholars debate the precedent. Protesters gather in capitals across Latin America. Supporters of Maduro call it kidnapping. Opponents call it justice. But no one calls it insignificant. Every government understands what has changed. A red line once considered permanent has been crossed. Inside Venezuela, power recalibrates in real time. Security forces hesitate. Political factions reposition. Streets fill with uncertainty rather than celebration or revolt. The system built around a single figure is suddenly hollow. For years, Maduro's presence has been the gravitational center of Venezuelan politics. With him removed, everything shifts. What replaces him is no longer theoretical. It is immediate. For the United States, the operation marks a turning point. Years of sanctions, diplomacy, and pressure culminate in direct action. The message is unmistakable. Indictments backed by force are no longer symbolic. They are enforceable. For other leaders under international warrants, the implications are chilling. Distance, power, and office no longer guarantee immunity. And for the world watching through screens, clips, and headlines, the realization settles slowly but permanently. This is not just the fall of a man. It is the demonstration of a new reality, one where information travels faster than confirmation, where operations unfold in silence, and where history announces itself not through speeches, but through notifications. The night does not end with applause or closure. It ends with questions. What comes next for Venezuela? How international law adapts? Where the limits of power now lie? But one fact remains fixed, undeniable, and irreversible. On a January morning in 2026, a sitting president is removed from his country by force, placed under arrest, and brought before the world. And nothing about global politics looks the same again in Venezuela. By the time the first full day ends, the capture is no longer breaking news. It is the new normal. Governments move from shock to strategy. Emergency meetings convene behind closed doors. Intelligence agencies reassess regional stability. Financial markets absorb the signal and adjust. In Venezuela, the absence of the president becomes the defining reality of every conversation. Ministries wait for direction that does not arrive. Military commanders receive conflicting orders. Loyalists demand unity, but unity without a leader is fragile. The system that revolved around one man now spins unevenly, searching for balance. Inside the United States, the legal process advances with precision. Years of sealed indictments, evidence files, and witness testimony activate at once. The charges are read. The proceedings begin. Cameras capture controlled glimpses, never enough to satisfy curiosity, always enough to confirm presence. The symbolism is unmistakable. A figure once shielded by power now stands under jurisdiction. The courtroom becomes the stage where geopolitics and law intersect, not through rhetoric, but through procedure. Every motion, every filing, every appearance reinforces the same conclusion. This is not symbolic accountability. This is enforcement. International reactions intensify as the second day unfolds. Some nations issue statements of support, calling the operation a necessary response to years of human suffering and criminal activity. Others denounce it as a violation of sovereignty that threatens global stability. The divide is sharp but expected. What is new is the urgency. Diplomats scramble to prevent escalation. Regional blocs convene emergency sessions. The United Nations becomes a forum of competing narratives, each side arguing legality, morality, and precedent. Yet beneath the debate lies a shared recognition. The world has entered a phase where long-standing assumptions no longer apply. Inside Venezuela, transitional mechanisms begin to form. Interim authorities claim legitimacy. Negotiations open channels once considered impossible. Sanctions discussions re-emerge with new leverage. Aid organizations prepare for access long denied. The removal of a single figure unlocks processes that had been frozen for years. Progress is uneven, contested, fragile, but it is movement, and movement itself marks a departure from stagnation. The human dimension of the moment remains unavoidable. Families separated by migration watch events unfold with cautious hope. Victims of repression speak publicly for the first time without immediate fear. Critics remain wary, aware that systems do not vanish with individuals. Supporters of the former president protest, framing the capture as injustice. Society does not unify overnight, but it begins to speak again, and speech is the first indicator of change.